Hey YouTubers, this is your unprofessional toy reviewer Red is Power, and I'm back at the Spotlight Reviewing Station to bring you Wave 2 of the Power Rangers Retro Morphin action figures produced by Hasbro. So, here we go. Let's take a look at some of these very iconic characters, well, even the newcomer here. More on that in just a bit, but we'll take a look at the packaging to kick things off here, and I'm going to start off with the White Ranger because this is the one that I was really excited for. Looks great. Very retro, you can tell by the way it turned out, especially with the classic Mighty Morphin Power Rangers logo used on all of the Bandai America products at that time. And then of course we got the name of the figure right there, Tommy. And we got Hasbro, we've got a look at the Gimmick, and that's about it. Not much else to really show off here. To the back of the packaging, here we've got the other figures available in this wave, and then we got a look at the Gimmick going off right there. That's how it works. You push this little lever on the back, the chest and back piece flip out, and so does the head. That's how it works. It's Morphin time, right? And we're done with that. We'll put that away now. So here's the Green Ranger, or as it says right here, Tommy, but the real difference is that this time, instead of the White Ranger, it's the Green Ranger. So take a look, get a good idea of how that works. Flip it onto the back, and that's the real difference right there, is that they're showcasing Green Ranger instead of White Ranger now. Put that away. Take a look at the Yellow Ranger now. This is Trini, of course, just to let you know, not Aisha, which wouldn't make any sense anyway, so there you go. There's Yellow Ranger. Trainee with a kind of questionable head sculpt. More details on that in a bit. To the back, show off the flip gimmick. It is Yellow Ranger. And finally, we have newcomer Ranger Slayer, which is Kimberly. Ooh, spoiler alert. But then again, if you read the comics, you knew about that already. You've known that for years. So, there she is with her civilian head. Looks good for Kimberly. And then on the back, yeah, nice attention to detail for the packages, but it's not about the packages, it's about the figures. So let's take a look at the figures here, and I guess I might as well start off with Trainee here. So Trainee, the Yellow Ranger, she has her included power daggers, which for some reason can now combine. Of course, they peg in very easily into the hands. Or not peg in, they clip in. They don't have any pegs like the originals do, which means there's no holes in the handle here to break up the look of this. And they look so much better than the originals by far. I mean, look at that attention to detail. If any of this is coming out, I would be very surprised. But yes, you gotta believe me when I say this. There is so much detail here. This looks very accurate to the on-screen counterpart weapons, which looks great. We even have the saber-toothed tiger coin on both sides molded into the plastic here, which is great. Great attention to detail. And I do like that they do combine too. That's pretty awesome. You can see she has the saber-toothed tiger coin right there that even says Power Rangers right there with the black lightning bolts that go up and down the morpher, which is silver, which is great. It does have a raised pattern unlike the Lightning Collection, which looks too flat in my opinion. She's got the lovely printed on diamonds here. You could say painted on, but they look printed on because they're too clean. And even on the back, which the originals do not have. Great. Looks good so far, especially with the Ranger helmet. That looks incredible. For all the detail that they put in here. They didn't really give it this retro look. Yeah, it's a little squished due to the gimmick here because it's got to fit in there. But this looks so modern rather than retro. This doesn't look anything like the original. And to show you a side-by-side comparisons here, I do have the original Automorphine Yellow Ranger and no, eye-disturbing power coin in the center of the chest, which, whatever. It was the time. See, I mean, look at the differences here. Man, I really hope this is coming out. I can't tell. It looks very bright on camera, but hey, it could change during the rendering. But yeah, I mean, look at the heads. Look at the helmets. So I'm going to show you off real quickly the original Automorphine right there. And you know what? For the time, that looked like Trainee. That looks really good. It still looks good to this day. Incredible job there, Bandai. And now, your feature presentation for this one. I don't know. It's not bad. I mean, it's just, I don't know. Maybe it's the cheeks. Maybe it's a little too flat, if you know what I'm talking about. Maybe it's the nose. I don't know. From the side profile, it looks like Trainee, but it's just not as Trainee as the original Trainee here. I mean, comparing the two, I still think the original looks more like Trainee than the new one. I don't know what's going on here. I mean, everything else was pretty good on this figure until this point, but it's not bad. It's just not as good as the original. The levers in the back with the constant morph, demorph, morph, demorph, morph, demorph, hours of play, which I do appreciate. But that's also the reason why these are a lot thicker compared to the originals, because the engineering is so different. But there you go. So that's basically Trainee. No reason to show off the articulation since it's really one and the same. No reason to even show off the Blade Blaster because it's all pretty much one and the same. Okay, fine. I'll show you real quick. There's the Blade Blaster. Yay. They're pretty much smaller than the original, and that's about it. Right, so, okay, since I got him in hand here, here's the White Ranger. Why not? I'm going to show off Saba to kick things off here, just because. So, here's Saba. Hopefully, he's not too washed out, but he does have all the detail. Everything's there, including the tiger head, the stripes. Nothing's painted. That's really the only difference between the two. And it is a little thicker because this is supposed to look retro, and weapons were pretty big back then compared to the figures. So, just put that back in his hands now. And you will notice right away his shield does move around quite a bit. That's because there's nowhere for it to peg into place here. If it had a little more of a grip over here, maybe this would stay in position a lot easier, but as it is, it's just, I mean, you can see, at least it doesn't fall off, so I do appreciate that. But yeah, it is a little disturbing to the eye. Anyway, the details on it are not disturbing to the eye. This is relief. It looks great, especially with the gold paint job here. And then we got the iconic tiger symbol coin here for the shield. And we've got his actual buckle this time rather than a power morpher, which I do commend, I do appreciate. And then we've got also his gauntlet pieces for his forearms and his boots here, which don't have as much detail as the original Automorphine. They would have had black stripes going all the way around. That's missing, but it's fine. They put a lot of paint job here, especially with the gold. I'm sure that's not cheap. It's all around the figure, and you really can't fault them for that. The only thing that does kind of bug me, however, is that all they had to do was just take like a black pen and go inside here to this detail at the top of the forehead of the helmet. As it is, they just left it unpainted, but that's fine. I can fix that myself. At least they did actually give him the white trim around the sides of the helmet, so at least that's one detail I don't have to take care of. Alright, it's morphin' time, guys. Let's go ahead and remove this shield to start it off, and then flip him, and there you go. So here we have the White Ranger, or Tommy, in his civilian attire, which is just a flip of the head. He's still wearing his costume. I wouldn't go out there. Not in public. He does have the ponytail, which I don't think the original had. I could be wrong, though. I could be. Looks like Jason David Frank. Can't complain. Yeah, awesome. Flip it back. Simple push of that lever. Put that back on. And there you have the White Ranger. after seeing the White Ranger, how's about we take a look at the Green Ranger? So here is Tommy again. His shield, I did put some blue tack underneath because this is the one that likes to fly off very easily, but this is the real noticeable difference comparing to the original, which I do have here, minus the chrome, which does really make it pop. I mean, look at that shield compared to this one. It's night and day comparisons. Night, day. Look at that. This looks pretty similar to the on-screen counterpart. So I appreciate this attention to detail that we did not get with the original, but it was the time. And besides, these are supposed to be like upgrades to the original Automorphin figure, so it only makes sense that they put more detail into the shield to make it look like the iconic one. Looks great. I appreciate everything about it, especially with the little pin job that they did for those symbols in the corners of the diamond. And then, of course, we got the trim of black right here on the outline. Looks great. The only thing that they skipped a beat on, even though it does have the dragon coin right there, which is supposed to be that foot, it does not have the gold morpher. It's still silver. I don't get that. I mean, I can fix it myself if I want to, if it really does bug the crap out of me, but it's something that they shouldn't have overlooked. Now it kind of looks like a hybrid of the original costume and the fighting spirit, even though it doesn't have the silver crest, which I do appreciate. I do like the helmet. This looks so good, unlike the original that looks kind of squished, especially at the visor section. This looks so good. This is, in comparison, it's pretty much on par with the Lightning Collection one. I wonder how long he's been out of focus in this video, but anyway, there you go. They didn't paint the red jewel, unfortunately. They left it gold for some reason, unlike the original, which they did paint red, but he's missing the gold. Ah, what a difference. He does have the gold trim to indicate that he is wearing his gold bands around his biceps. He does have the gold trim around his gloves. You will notice that his gloves does have the upside down triangles, even though they're not as long as they should be. It's a nice attention to detail. Once again, you're going to hear that a lot. So have at it if you want to play a drinking game with every time I say attention to detail. Lacking on the original, that is definitely being made up for this retro one, especially with the black holster. Bringing in the original again, it's white. Here's the new one. It's black, as it should be. And for some reason, he still comes with a blade blaster. Everybody gets a blade blaster. Everybody in this line so far has been given a blade blaster, which is fine. Now we'll look at the Dragon Dagger. Hopefully this isn't too much out of focus here, but there's hardly any detail. For what it was for the time, it's fine, but there's hardly any detail compared to the new one, which it's kind of hard to see because it is in black plastic rather than being gray. But if I can get the light to reflect off it real quickly, you can see it does have the iconic dragon coin, which is the foot symbol. Looks great. And it's got all the instrumental pieces that you would come to expect from a flute, which is, it's there, especially the buttons. And last but not least, we'll take a look at Ranger Slayer now, which is, again, Boom Studio Comics exclusive character, which is supposed to be, I guess, a post-apocalyptic future character, an evil pink ranger who serves under Lord Dragon. Yay. I mean, it's not just a straight-up repaint of the retro Morphin Pink Ranger. It does have a new head sculpt for both heads. Like the helmet here does have all those raised patterns that stick out. Makes it look pretty sharp, pretty evil compared to the original retro, which is right here. You can see. Nice. And, of course, we got the same power morpher. There you go. Same power coin, same morpher, same blade blaster, same holster. It's really the paint job that's the difference here. Oh, and the weapon. I forgot about the weapon. It's a good thing I picked up on that. It's not your original power bow. This is actually two Sword of Darkness slapped together to make this very nice looking piece. It does have clips for some reason. I guess if you wanted to clip the other power weapons to this bow, you can do that, which is fine. I'm not going to do that, though. It wouldn't make any sense, in my opinion. But, anyway, there you go. And then we've got some paint here, just solid white on this side. Not really white, more of a kind of pinkish white. Pretty much that same thing. We got that same hue of white with the pink in there. And then we got the solid stripes going on in pink that go all the way down and even to the forearm, which is supposed to be like armor pieces here, but they just, you know, since it doesn't have any raised patterns, it's just solid paint, which is fine. At least there's no bleeding coming through from the black plastic of the arms here, so I do commend them on that nice effort there. There's not much else to really say about it. It's a black figure with some pink plastic for the thighs, and then the rest of the pink is just painted on the figure, especially with the helmet. Alright, let's go. It's morphin' time. There you go. You can see we got good Kimberly compared to evil Kimberly, which has the short hairstyle. Gives her like a man vibe, kind of, in my opinion. Which is fine. I mean, this looks okay for Kimberly, but this looks more like Kimberly with short hair and a badass style. She also has earrings on both sides. Looks pretty good. Just not painted. That's fine. Well, there you go. She doesn't have her cape. That's the only real drawback on this figure, but hey, for less than $10, you can't complain about that. I realized I didn't show off, the civilian head for the Green Ranger, my bad. There you go. It's basically Tommy without his ponytail, the way he looked in Season 1 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Missing a little bit of paint there, buddy, but that's okay. It's fine. If I want to fix it, I can do it myself. Still got the diamonds, which the Lightning figure, official Green Ranger figure, did not get for some reason, but oh well. There's no swivel at the heads, neither one. That includes the civilian. We do have the pin disc shoulders. We do have full rotation. We've got a swivel above the elbow. We do get 90 degrees on the elbow joints. Nothing else at the arms. No rotation at the wrist. Nothing at the waist due to the engineering. We do have pin disc thigh joints. So you get this much kicking forward. Nothing going back. You do get your full JCVD split. There's your silk quality. And you get a swivel above the knee joint. You get 90 degrees of bend on the single joint, which is restricted on this one. Oh, there we go. Kind of broke free. There you go. Careful, you could break them over time. And then we got, oh, I already did that. That's it. That's it for the articulation. Alright, so we got the power axe in this gun mode, as it should be. And I dropped it, of course. We'll go ahead and slap on the power bow. And then we'll get the power daggers, which, if I'm not mistaken, are on the outside of the bow. Like that. And then we'll take the power lance and we'll pop those in here. And finally, which should hold everything together like glue, the power sword, which this is the first time I'm actually doing this. This is the part that kind of needs a peg, but it doesn't have one. And there you go. There's the power blaster. It's fine. You know, it's small, as it should be for a small retro design. It looks great. The colors are questionable. The reason why is because some of them are gray, and then some of them are actually painted the Ranger colors, which I don't get. Like, I mean, if they had done the power sword and the power lance in their proper colors, then we wouldn't have an issue here, because at least it would bring some vibrancy to this. But as it is, I don't understand why they didn't just make them all gray, because all the original weapons were gray, were they not? So why this change? Oh well, it is what it is. At least it does hold together a lot better than the Lightning Collection one, but that's not saying much, because it doesn't really feel like it's really a strong connection. But They can hold it if you want, as they should. So get Jason here to hold it, as he's the one who primarily held the Power Blaster all the time when they were getting ready to fire off their final attack against the evil space alien of the episode, which is fine. It looks good. So there you go. That's basically it. That's my spotlight review on these retro Morphin figures, unless we get a third wave, which I am hoping we will. We've got one more retro Morphin figure on the way very shortly, probably in another month or two. You probably know who that is, but I'm not going to spoil it. If you do not know, I'll just save it for then. But that is the Retro Morphin Wave 2, and what pretty much is, at this moment, the completion of this line, unless they really want to go out there and do other Ranger teams, which, you know what? More power to them. If they want to do a retro style based off of the movie costumes back in 1995, more power to them. I would love that. I'd definitely pick those up in a heartbeat. That's something that I really would love to see. I appreciate all the effort that went into this line so far, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for any more classic / retro style Power Ranger figures that Hasbro may have in mind. And I can't wait for the next one. So, questions or comments, you know what to do. Feel free to leave it down below in the comment section of this video. If you enjoyed this spotlight review, which was a long one, hit the thumbs up button. Don't forget to sub up. If you didn't like it, hit the thumbs down. Don't forget to throw in the towel. If you haven't already, don't forget to hit that bell notification icon to stay updated when I post news or updates or even videos on this channel, which could be anytime soon, but you'll never know unless you hit that bell notification. So hit it! What more can I say about that? And until then, this is your unprofessional toy reviewer, Red's Power, signing off by saying fare thee well, so long, goodbye, and get out. I'll see you then.